My neighbor filed 11 official complaints against me in 14 months. Code violations, noise complaints, property disputes. He made it his full-time job to make my life miserable. I never once retaliated. I didn't have to. I moved into my house in the spring. Nice quiet street, good neighborhood, reasonable commute. The first 3 weeks were perfect. Then I met Gerald. Gerald had lived next door for 19 years. He had strong opinions about property lines, grass height, parking, noise, light pollution, and apparently the exact shade of gray a fence was allowed to be. I know this because he told me, repeatedly, unsolicited, before I had even finished unpacking. I smiled, nodded, and figured he was just one of those people. I'd keep my head down and we'd coexist fine. I was wrong. It started with a note on my door about my bins being 2 inches over the property line on collection day. Then a complaint to the HOA about my porch light being excessively bright. Then a noise complaint to the city, filed at 7 p.m. on a Saturday because I was mowing my lawn. I responded to every single one calmly and in writing, fixed what needed fixing, documented everything, took time-stamped photos, kept a written log with dates, times, and details. Not because I was planning anything, just because something told me to. By complaint number 6, I had a folder. By complaint number 9, that folder was an inch thick. By complaint number 11, I'd started psyching my attorney on every response. What Gerald didn't know, and what I only found out through a conversation with another neighbor, was that he had done this before. The family before me had moved out partly because of him. The family before them had filed a harassment complaint that was quietly dropped. Gerald had a history. He'd just never faced real consequences. What Gerald also didn't know was that his own house had issues. I didn't go looking for this, but when you file 11 complaints against someone who keeps records, eventually people start talking. A city inspector who had visited my property 3 times in 14 months started asking questions about the street in general. Gerald's property came up. Unpermitted extension on the back of his house, built in 2019, never inspected, never approved. The city sent Gerald a notice in October. The unpermitted structure had to be removed or brought up to code within 90 days. The estimate to bring it up to code? Just over $22,000. He chose removal. Took most of his backyard with it. Then his HOA dues came under review. Apparently, when you file that many complaints, someone eventually audits your own compliance record. Gerald had 3 outstanding violations he'd never resolved. Fines plus interest. He put his house on the market in January, moved out by March. 19 years on that street ended in 5 months. I didn't file a single complaint. I didn't make one phone call. I just kept my records clean and let the universe do the math. There's a certain kind of person who mistakes aggression for power. They file complaints, they send letters, they make noise, because noise feels like control. But control, built on harassment, has a foundation of sand. Eventually, the weight of it sinks them. Gerald taught me that patience isn't passive. It's the most powerful thing you can do when someone is determined to destroy themselves. Have you ever had a neighbor like Gerald? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And subscribe to Scoring Silently for a new story every week. The quiet kind that hits hardest.